Okay, this one was a little bit of a basket case. We still have to pull a little bit of an alignment on it, but hang around and check out how this one came out. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt. Uh, uh, wow. That does have extremely low power. Okay, this one is giving us a little bit of a fit. So, wow, I don't know what to do with this one. I'm gonna have to get in here. The final's already been changed once, but there is some circuit damage. Um, we got the meter straightened out for him. But it's something else I noticed. This thing is way off frequency. Um, he put it on center. It's like 2-1. And yeah, that's not good. So we're going to straighten that out. But first thing we got to do is get this thing to make power. Because right now, that thing should be reading. It should be jumping up way better than that. That should be way bigger than that. So, all right, let's see what we can do with this thing. We'll be back. All right, it seems like every time they ready to do a video on this thing, it wants to be a pain in the behind. Let's turn this guy down. All right, here. What we found on this particular dude is it had some circuit damage. Let's see if I can make this easier for you to see. See right here, that's the AM power regulator. It's been soldered to so many times that the traces were just, they were there, but they weren't. So we had to repair that. It's got a new AM power regulator. And then the driver, somebody actually had a 1306 driving a 1969. Now, I've never seen that happen, but doesn't mean it's not possible. This checks good in my tester, but after we put the right transistor in it, well, hold on a minute, I'll show you. But yeah, we had, and there's circuit damage over here. We had to actually move a couple parts at the bottom, and now it's acting right. I think we can tune it up. Audio. About 10 on AM now instead of like 1. 12, 15, 14 on sideband. So we're going to line this thing up and see if it holds. I'm pretty sure it will now that we've soldered the entire radio up. And something else, guys, when you convert these clarifiers, these dual clarifiers, if you're going to leave a dual clarifier and not put a 10 turn in it, that's fine. But first, be careful playing around over here by the crystal and the varactor diode. A lot of guys trying to throw a choke in there end up popping their crystal. But I just resolder all these. This thing was wonky, so we got that stable. So I'm going to line it up, and we're going to set the meters, and now that they work, and see what happens. See if I can actually do a full video on this dude. Okay, finally. Turn all my other toys off here. Long story short, I don't need this no more. I was playing with my Kenwood on sideband today. Okay, this radio came from Montana. This was the second radio this gentleman sent me, and a barrage of errors. Let's just put it that way. We've tried to make several videos. We fixed one thing, something else flake off, fix something else to flake off, and bring us back to the original problem. We had a hell of a time getting power out of it. It came in to get the power fixed and to get this guy installed. It's an FM board. Now, Nickel went through it, and he threw his hands up. We almost shipped it back to the customer, and somehow, by our fault, it got mixed up in the boxes and sat here, and that was my fault. So, Richard, once again, I apologize for that. So, then Nichols moved on to his new job, so I'm going back through everything. I finally got this thing to pop and work. We've made a lot of videos on this. I've trashed a lot of videos on this radio because they just weren't worth watching. But it's alive, and I got it back normal. But now, first things first, Richard, if you're watching this, here's your FM kit, and we're not going to put it in. I'm going to tell you why. If you watch the video, I think we're going to put as many scenes as we can in there. There was a lot of circuit damage on this radio. Now, while I got the radio to line up beautifully, and it talks, and it's got good power. It's like 1 swinging or a 5 swinging, 10 on AM, like 12 on sideband. It's doing fine. This is a Taiwan chassis. It's one of the later ones. So we just, after I got it going, I gave him some triggers. We got his meters fixed. Let me put a mic on this thing. You work on a radio without a mic. No, let me make sure. I see it right here. Okay, so the meters were stuck. It was low on power. It didn't look too bad. The frequency display was working, but it was off. All the controls were dirty. The driver for the final was, I think, the wrong one. A lot of circuit damage. Now we have. Let me switch to this coax. That's on a dead dummy load. Now we have audio. We have meters working. Modulation meter works. All the lights work. Audio. Okay. His extra channels work. Take some. So you got a bunch of extra channels. They all work. All the switches now function right. Speakers and switches. So here, the radio does audio. It's about 11 a swing on AM. And then on sideband, audio, about 12, 14. So here, the radio's healthy as far as power goes. Everything is working on it, but we had to repair so much to get it back to the state that I really don't want to do any more damage by cutting the traces and doing the updates that this board says it requires. So I'm going to leave this all in the bag. For you, Richard, by the time you see this radio is going to be on its way back to you. Your bill is paid. It's just on its way back. Know that the radio in and of itself is as healthy as it could be for what you got, for what you bought. I don't recommend you put anything else on this radio. It's had too much re-repair along its lifetime. However, you know how long it's been here. I got it back for you, but this is the best I can do. So you have a good radio to talk on. It's nice in and of its own rights. I would not put a Super Duty conversion on this or something like it. I would not run another amp with it. It's just, this radio's had a lot of bad luck, and we got a lot of it straightened out, but I can't tell you that I would warranty putting anything else in here. We gave you some nice trinkets. Like you've got the seconds on your clock, which is cool. So when the radio's off, you got your clock with the seconds that count off, which is nice. And it all sets the same way, and when you go back to radio or everything. So, and your counter is now lined up on the first tick past 12 o'clock. Now, why do we do that? If you know about this niche right here, it niches in right there and it locks, and sometimes it pulls this out, it'll be right on the edge. So what we do is we line it up at 1 o'clock, and something else you need to know about when these guys pop these clarifiers like this, these two controls end up being swapped. Watch how fast there. This is supposed to be your fine. Or this is supposed to be your core, your fine, right? This is supposed to be, let me see here. No, fine and coarse. So this one, they didn't end up switching this one. I've had a couple of them come in where these ended up being switched for some reason. This one actually works right. So line it up on 5-0. This is where we lined it up on the first niche. Whoop. Right there. Right there. Yeah, that big one's real touchy. There you go. 5-0. So now, once you get that here, now you're good. Clarifier's open, sidebands work, all the lights work. It's perfectly functional in and of the way it sits, but if it were mine, maybe put a 10-turn clarifier in it later to make it a little more behavioral, make it behave a little smoother. But other than that, Richard, it's usable. It's a good radio to use. Pass it on to somebody that don't want to do anything to it, and maybe find a more healthy one, and we'll do all this stuff for you. So, like I said, by now this thing's on its way because we were way behind in our media. But it's alive, it's healthy, it works. But a lot of repair work, dude. A lot of stuff that I don't like seeing. So here we go, Mr. Wilson in Montana. Your 2000's on its way back. It's functional. It's got power now. It's all usable, perfectly usable. But please, I don't recommend you do any more modifications to it because it was just too much work to get it to this point. So there it is. We saved one, at least partially. Like I said, at least now the radio, he can use it. So thanks a lot, Richard. Thank you for your patience. Sorry we goofed you up in our shipping, but I think I've already sent you the tracking number for this, and should see it this week. I forget what today's day is, but 9, 10, something like that. I don't know. Not even that. We're confused today. How do you like that? Anyway, Richard, it's on its way. It's radio's repaired. That one's on us. I told you I'd take care of you on that and that last deal. So here you go, man. It's on its way. Use the radio. Don't do anything else to it. I wouldn't recommend it. And anybody else, you get these things all chopped up. You're lucky if you get them put back together right. I don't like doing that to these. We're trying to do conversions and nice stuff. I really don't have the manpower to do actual repairs anymore. But when a gentleman like who's a repeat customer says, we don't think it's too bad. Well, unfortunately, this one was, and was coming back for another job. So I went ahead and he's not happy with the time frame, but he'll be happy using this radio when he gets it back. So there we go, guys. We try to take care of everybody. 7 threes. Have a good day. Wash your damn hands.